What's up, guys? It's me, Lumos Theramax, and I'm here to drop another banger to you guys, here covering Green Lantern issue 8 out of the 2021 run, and it's looking to be pretty fucking hype, man. John Stewart's wildin'. We're finding out who and exactly what he is, and the further we go down that path, the crazier things get. So why don't you guys go ahead, like and subscribe down low to both me and the coffee shop content creators. They all make some pretty banger stuff, and let's get to it, boys. So starting off with this chapter, we get the new updated idea of the cosmology in terms of how it's being built, or how it came to be, I guess, is a better way to do it. So before life and death, matter and magic, out of the dark came the source. This we know, this was all stuff we covered in the 2018 Justice League's run. And then from the cosmos churned the forces, and the forces of creation danced on each other. And essentially, the lords of order and chaos came from them. After them, the gods came, the old, then the new. And then finally, after that, after all the mundane life had already come up, and from them, life, from those beings, the ascended come, apparently. And John is the first of these alleged ascended characters. And that's what this new god of journeys tells him. This new god of journeys is like, hey man, you ascended a long time ago, and the Guardians are actually the ones who kind of hid that from you. And we saw that as a hint a while back, as John was having weird flashbacks to things he couldn't remember, and that was one of them, as he was hanging with Ganthet, and Ganthet said, well, I can hide your ascendedness for a while. And he says, so what, I'm ascending, what do you mean by that? Am I like a new god now? And he says, no, yes, not exactly, you're ascended, it's complicated. And so basically, he has some sort of role that's similar or further beyond that. And towards the beginning of this arc, we also saw the Guardians drop another reference that humanity will become the new fifth world beings beyond that of the new gods. So maybe this is literally what they were referencing to. But during all of this, Lonar, this new god of journeys, is literally telling him, yo, you don't even need to be here. This is a waste of your time. None of these people matter. They're all gonna die. Your journey lies elsewhere. Trust me, I know. And John's like, I don't care. I'm here to save people. I'm a Green Lantern first, and I'm a whatever you're calling me second. I can be an ascended fucking later. I save people. That's my job. And during all of this, obviously he's rolling up to this entire planet that he's trying to save Kilowog on. He starts throwing hands with these defenders of this character called the Lightbringer. These crazy looking angels, and John's teleporting all these civilians away with this new power, casually blocking these guys. He's wilding pretty hard, and the whole time Lonar is telling him yo dude, this is simply how it's going to be. None of these people matter. And John's really not hearing him out. He's like, yo, I ain't chosen by shit. I make my own fate. I don't have time for all your phantom stranger enigmatic bullshit, okay? And Lonar tells him, well, hey man, I tell you what, I'm just the god of journeys. I can't really do shit, but I can give you at least some advice. He says, this is the fork in the road, dude. You have two options. You can go over there and help those people, and it's a bunch of people basically with the Green Lanterns trying to get the fuck out of here. And he says, or is the real battle over there? And he points towards this massive portal that all these people are being mind hacked into walking into. And he says, look at them, dude. It's some sort of fucked up mind control. And he says, well, what do you think about that, John? And John says, damn it, I'm going in. And he immediately flies into this portal to Whereversville. And as he does, Lonar begins to monologue, saying that's the end of his prologue. He, if you saw the things that I did, you'd understand. He says, John Stewart, you won't be alone there. And when he gets there, he sees some sort of some sort of weird dimension with some sort of massive god in the background overlooking everything, with what looks like a phoenix symbol from Marvel, but it might be a W, who knows. But there's this giant godlike being who exists there. And he says, oh my god. And somebody behind him says, actually no, he's mine. And it's somebody that we've seen glimpses of throughout this entire story, who's been memeing out on what looks like some sort of badass version of Metron's chair. And that's the last we see of John Stewart, unfortunately. However, on the other side of the universe, and with how things are going, Joe Moline is still working with one of Brainiac's liaisons, or not one of Brainiac's liaisons, one of the liaisons of Brainiac's people, and they're trying to investigate the murder of the Guardians of the Universe. And this entire time, they're reviewing a lot of the shit that's been happening right before their death. Obviously, one of their Guardians was killed by a terrorist recently, and they're reviewing the monologue of the sister of the person who had died. And they review a few moments whenever they're hanging out with Kelly Quintella, and they flat out say that her gauntlet might also be drawing on the bleed. That's crazy as fuck. Like, Kelly Quintella's gauntlet is just getting amps and amps and amps, man, I'm telling you. And basically they come to a conclusion, there's some weird shit going on, and essentially that one of these Guardians of the Universe went way out to Sorcerer's World and was messing with some sorcery. That's really weird, and it just so happens to be that's the Guardian that we've been focusing on this entire story, the one whose sister, the sister whose brother died in the prior engagement. And it seems like a lot of the data around that kind of got deleted. And Joe Moline gets called away. She winds up dealing with a bunch of BS garbage Green Lantern problems because they're all salty that shit isn't back to normal. And Joe Moline literally tells him, yo, get your shit together. I'm trying to solve a fucking murder, the ultimate murder of the century. And meanwhile, we kind of move back towards Kaluan Delegate. They had been working with Joe Moline. She's doing more and more digging, and she actually finds out a few different things as she's like analyzing all sorts of things over here. She name drops a ton of people, man. She mentions Accordion Weapons Masters, Accordion Weapons. She says Metron. Wait, this isn't a laboratory. This is a forge. She says, wait a minute, and she immediately gets blasted. And somebody speaks in the background saying, damn you Kaluans and all your fucking knowledge. I'll make sure it's all gone. It'll be crazy to see if any of it survives. And it's that Guardian specifically who's come back who has black eyes. Now, black eyes on a Guardian is something that's rather synonymous with Necron. Some weird memes going on there. And the next chapter is labeled Ascension. Obviously referring to John's Ascension. So, we had a really dope reintroduction to the cosmology of how everything came to be inside DC, which was really sick. Obviously John is ascending into some crazier being who is meant to be on some sort of higher level of pantheon of gods, and this dude who's been memeing in the background seems like he's been orchestrating these events is chilling here, which is interesting. And the Guardians, I guess, are just evil again in Joe Moline's storyline, so I'm curious to see exactly where that's going, or at least it appears that their deaths might have been faked or forged in some way, or that this Guardian is kind of acting on their own and intentionally did this situation. Could be on the behalf of Necron. Wouldn't be too wild to believe that. But that being said, the next chapter is actually out. I plan on making a video in not too long. Bro, John Stewart, this next chapter is messing with some gods, boys. But be sure to like and subscribe for next time. We'll hang out, slam out that John video, and I'll see you later, Lanterns.